Well, hello guys. Good afternoon. How are you? And I'm very honored to be able to stand here to talk to you guys today using the language I'm not familiar with. So my name is Jesse. My amateur radio call sign BD7RY. I'm from the business side. I'm the founder and CEO from Cheligans, and we are a ham radio manufacturer in China. We flew in 3 days ago, and this is actually my third time come to Hamvention, but it's my very first time to be able to speak in front of you guys. A little bit nervous. Thank you in advance for sitting here listening to me. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the ham radio in China and some opportunities that when it comes to connecting the worlds. A little bit about myself. Actually, my ham radio journey started in 2016, not very long ago. But as soon as I discovered the hobby, I felt into the hobby. And I'm very active right now on HF, mainly for 40 meter and 20 meter bands for sideband and DMR. Oh, sorry, the DMR for UHF and for UHF. Those two bands are the most popular bands for operators in China to operate on HF. And for my rigs, I typically has two kind of rigs, one for my home station and another for the one that I go mobile. This is my home station. I use a FTDX10, a great radio, with the LDG tuner. They are both sitting in a corner of my bedroom, right next to the window. And for the left picture is my antenna setup. It's a 40 meter end-fed half-wave antenna on top of the building. It's right next to a bunch of solar panels, so you can understand what kind of noise will that be. And I use a coax cable from the top of the floor, go through my window and to my radio, and that's my radio setup. There's a reason for it. I will come back to that later. And if I go mobile, I will use the legendary model, the Yaesu FT818. I use a CS818. It's an antenna tuner from our development, our own company's products. And I use two of them to go to the field, and I use most of the time the portable antennas like the ground plane antennas and dipole antennas and to do the field operations. And a little bit about my career. Like before founding Cheligans, I was working as a sales and marketing person from different companies specializing in maker electronics, in Internet of Things and artificial intelligence, things like that. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm licensed. I was licensed in 2016, and I fell into the hobby a lot. And in the late 2020, I see something that it's possible to be done to bring the new things into the hobby. And that's the reason I started the company Cheligans. And for now, my hobby and my career, they're equal to each other. What a wonderful world, isn't it? And today I'm going to talk about the connecting worlds. I'll be covering the three subjects. We'll go through the status of the current ham radio in China. And the second will be the connecting to the worlds, the opportunities and challenges that I see. And I'll take a little bit time to introduce the company that I founded, what exactly we do, the role and the vision for the future ham radio in my point of view. So like everywhere in the world, in China, in order to be able to be on the air, you have to acquire a license. In China, you need two licenses to be able to transmit on the air. One for the personal license, and another is a radio license. The personal license, also called as an operator license, means that you're a certified ham radio operator. And for the radio license, there's one thing to know. Like my call sign, BD7RY is not really assigned to me. is assigned to the radios that they use, like the mobile radio, the FT818 or FTDX10, or my handhelds and things my call sign is actually assigned to the radios, not to me. That's different in China. And for the operator license, you typically has 3 different levels, A, B, and C. And they differentiate from each other to the access to the different frequency band and the maximum power that you can transmit. And once you have the license, you are ready to go. I didn't know that the screen is a little bit small. I'm not sure if you can see that clearly, but what I'm trying to say here is that the learning path for ham radio is a little bit different than here in the US. We don't have we have a lot of online communities, a lot more greater than the offline. What I'm saying is that we don't have a lot of amateur radio clubs in cities. In China, we don't have that. But instead, we are using the online tools I'm not sure if you're familiar with the WeChat, the QQ, and the forum, where you have a different kind of interest group, the APRS, the DMR, the HF, and everything. And on QQ, it's like Discord. There's a different kind of interest groups. You can share files. You can talk to different people and talking about things, and you can learn from there. That's our ham radio journey. Also, the Elmer, if you want to get in touch with someone that has more experience, you go to the online tools and get in touch with them, and you learn from them. Then that's how it works. And the hobbies in China, this is a photo just happened a few days ago in May the 5th. There was an activity back in China. It's held by an association that different people operate on a stationary radio and talk to a random person domestically in China. You can find from the faces that most of the hobbies in China, they're quite young. The average aging for the Chinese operators among 30 to 45. Me, myself, I'm 33. And I got my license when I was 26, something like that. And the people are quite active, to be honest, and come to the spaces and the QRM. That gentleman just asked me before I come to the stage. Like myself, we have a large population there in China. So most of us, we live in apartments or condos. We don't have backyards. We don't have a very big spaces. When it comes to HF, you just need to consider a lot in setting up the big gears, the big antennas. So this is a way that some of the operators, they're setting up their antennas at their home. They're using they take advantage of the balcony. They're using the portable antenna to set it up and to play with the HF. And secondly, for HF, it's our QRM is very bad. It's very, very bad because most of the Chinese hams we gather together in big cities, like in Hong Kong, in Shenzhen, in Beijing, these kind of cities. And this city we have a lot of solar panels. We have a lot of cable lines. There's a lot of electronic cars, and that made the QRM really, 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 really bad. And even if you operate from HF, you turn on the radio, the noise floor can hit S8 to S9 most of the time. And if you really want to play with HF, you can do that, and you go mobile, and that's the way you do it. So most of the Chinese operators, they are playing with UHF and VHF, no matter analog or digital modes. With repeaters in cities, you're able to do some domestic propagations. But when it comes to HF, this is the thing that you do. You go portable, and and that's some of the reasons that most of the products that come from China, there's already some products available from the global market. You will see them most of the time, they are in portable form, and that's one of the biggest reasons for that. And I want to talk about a little bit about the history of the development in China about amateur radio. I will show you a video. There's 2 words to describe the history of amateur radio in China. I would say late and fast. We started quite kind of late, but we're growing really fast. This video is showing in the last 20 years, the amateur radio operator population ranking from different cities. You can see from the videos that ever since 2014, China has become the third largest population country right after the US and Japan. The reason I said we started late is at the year of 2012, we have less than 20,000 operators. And by the time, right now, 2023, we have more than 200,000 operators, so already 10 times than 20 years ago. Actually, that's easy to understand because you guys understand, thanks to the globalization, Chinese economy and technology started in the latest 20 to 30 years. And with the younger generation has more exposure and access to technology, we're able to understand there's a radio hobby out there. And that's the reason the operators back in China, they are quite young. And because they're the generation who has more access to the technology and have more opportunity or possibilities to get in touch with ham radio. And that's the reason. And nowadays, we're still really growing really fast. And from the gears, like back in 20 years ago, because we had less demand, so we have less domestic supply. At that time, we were using the Yaesu, ICOM, Kenwood, Motorola, this kind of famous brand. We have very limited options for the hobbyists to play with ham radio. But the biggest problem for us at that time is that these devices or these gears were super expensive for us. You consider about the currency, about the economy and things. It's just it's a kind of like a barrier for more people to get involved in the hobby. But the great thing is that as the economy and technology grew in China, there's already some domestic suppliers emerged. I believe most of you guys have heard of Zygu, which was founded in 2010, and Anytone, which was in 2003, and Baofeng. I believe many of you all have the very cheap walkie-talkies, and it started in 2001. And other than these known brands, there's hundreds of different developers that are doing DMR, SDR, APRS, and of course we have a lot of copycats and for different products, different brands, etc. So with that said, from 20 years ago, we came from an import-only country to we have a variety, we have diverse domestic product to select from, and even more, we can already have some products already available from the global market. This is what we are seeing today. And that comes to my second topic, the opportunity when it comes to connecting the worlds. Ham radio is a global hobby. And we have a lot of products in China that is not yet introduced to the world. And there's a lot of innovative and more affordable and interesting products out there. But we want to introduce to the global community, and that's the thing that we see as an opportunity. And I don't need to stress, I don't need to emphasize a lot about the manufacturing and the supply chain ability in China. Made in China, innovate China, these kind of terms are already widely heard from the global community. And because of that, a lot of developers benefited from this kind of things, because we are not they are not only playing with radio, they are developing radios. Well, once they have design, when they have the ability, they are able to find the manufacturer, they are able to find the supply chain to make that happen. And that's the reason that we have so many products out there in China right now. But yes, there are some platforms like AliExpress, eBay, and Amazon already. You can see some of the products available from there already, but there's a lot of problems. I will call that challenges in coming to the world. The first of all, it will be the language barrier. As you know, China is not an English-speaking country, and for the developers to provide the English documentations or the tech support, sometimes very, very difficult. For a lot of times, even you went to you go to AliExpress and eBay or things, you went through the description, you went through everything, and you finally you paid you placed an order, and after half a month you get your order and you open the box, you find there's no English manual or even no manual at all, or sometimes you find a Chinese manual. And the worst case is that if you have problem with the product, you want to reach out to the developer, that's not just simply not possible. You cannot talk to them. Not only because of language issue, but also because of the cultural issue. For example, we Chinese, we don't like to use emails as a communication tools. We prefer more like instant tools, like I mentioned earlier, the WeChat, QQ, things like that, or just a direct call for the tech support. That's the means that we usually use. But those are just, none of them are an option for the overseas buyers, no. That's another issue. And next will be the regulation. For different countries, there's regulations for different kind of products. For certification, for instance, in the United States, you will need FCC certification. In Europe, you would require CE certification. Not to mention, there's some other requirements on bans and things and this and that. And you just simply, you cannot expect every developers back in China, they're individuals and they're making products. You want them to understand all of these things is simply not possible. And the fourth will be actually the biggest problem for the buyers is the trust problem. I watched a YouTuber, I saw a YouTuber, they purchased an SDR for $550 from eBay, for SDR, and he waited for half a month and end up receiving a parcel, and open it up, it's a useless brick in it. This is a big issue, right? In some better scenarios, you get the products, but how can you guarantee that you already paid a decent money and you receive a products like exactly the quality and performance like you expected, because you are too far away. The way that you're checking out the goods, the products you through online, you're checking out the website, you're checking out the images, you cannot guarantee what you're buying really. And that's the four challenges I see. The biggest challenges for connecting the China ham radio products to the world. And that was the very first reason I started the company Chaligans, and I want to contribute to the community and to do something. And we define ourselves a portal to verified ham radio products. I'll come back to that. And to briefly introduce the product that we do today, we have 4 product lines. The first will be the JNC radio. We develop and we market our own products under the brand JNC radio. So for now, we have product lines that we're covering different kind of vector network analyzers, like a JNC radio VNA 3G, which is built on top of the open source design Nano VNA, but have some improvements, improved quality, improved user experience, and a better software, things like that. And also with later come with the updated model with different frequency reaches. And also we have the portable antennas. You can see the MC750 104. Maybe some of you guys already have been using it. And also this year we are bringing out the CS818. It's an antenna tuner with a screen built on top of it. And it has the integration with the Yaesu legendary model FT818. And this is our product. And on the left will be another dipole antenna we are trying to build. We'll release in 1 month or 2. And the second is a product line, we call it China to you, CN to you. It's the thing that we do, we verify. We take a lot of products from China. We work with a growing number of developers in China. We participate in their product development. We tell them from the beginning what kind of documentation should be done, the regulation, what kind of certification. And on their behalf, we're trying to provide the tech support, warranty, things like that, and as well as the English documentation and trying to build contents around the products. Those are things we do. For now, we have products available like JPC antennas, like loop antennas, as well as some Morse keys and balance and things like that. And the third part will be the customization. For this part, we work with our distributors most of the time. Like in the past years, we did RSGB key. It's a project in the UK. We are trying to build a key for the Queen's Jubilee last year, and we also source for our partners with some cables, connectors, things like that. This is a third part of the business. We are trying to leverage the resources in China together with our partners. And finally will be the new tech. The fourth, that's the most important thing that I think we should be doing. Like in nowadays, we can already see overlaps between open source hardware and the ham radio hobby. What I'm saying that you can see a lot of applications, a lot of projects are built on top of Arduino and Raspberry Pi. To me, actually, I think that's that's very good. It's driving our hobby forward because it made our hobby has more diversity and more opportunities to explore with more options. And that's what I'm thinking about. How can we embed more new things into our hobby? That's the thing that we are trying to look at. And our products, we sell it directly through our website. We ship from China, as well as we're working with a number of distributors. Like in the US, we work with DX Engineering, and in the UK, we work with Martin Lynch & Sons and Wemo in Germany, etc. And this distributor really helped us a lot in faster delivery and providing domestic support, things like that, and help us to market our product and reach out to more people. And we are trying to do the marketing, and we are trying to build our contents. We're making our YouTube videos. We have our Twitter, Facebook, blogs. We are trying to build that. And last month, we just hired a new staff on building new contents. And also, we are working with a number of key opinion leaders. We just get started with that. We work with K4SWL, the QRpeer.com. I'm sure they're helping us with reviewing and a lot of products as well. I think working with them really helped us with branding, number one, and also it brings us tons of feedbacks on our products for our the future improvements and the new product designs. Okay, and come back to the challenge. We addressed previously the 4 problem. We're trying to help the domestic developers to overcome the language and culture barrier on their behalf. We are taking their products, and we are reselling their products. We're providing tech support and warranty, and further regulation. Because we took part in their product development, we're at the very beginning, we'll help them with the regulation, certification, things like that. And because we work with a number of distributors, they are trustworthy. We are trying to build our own reputation, but if you don't trust us, you can always go to like DX Engineering. They are kind of like they are guaranteed that you're not gonna waste your money and receive a useless brick. That's never gonna happen, and that's the thing we're trying to do. And I know to accomplish all this that I talk about will be a long journey, but I think with a passion and great hard work, there's a lot of things more or less can be done and contribute to the community. And that concludes the speech today. And we have our booth on 5303. And if you're interested, you can come to check us out. And that's it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. 73.